If you've been looking for a new case for your iPhone 17 Pro or any of the new iPhone 17s and you don't know what you're exactly looking for, you've been looking at quite a few cases, we'll be looking at these from a perspective of how they look, how protected they are, and how good their MagSafe is. So we're going to start off with the least protective, but in my opinion, the nicest looking case here. This case is one of the nicest when it comes to the color combination. They've got multiple color combinations on the website. It is a fairly thin case, so don't expect a lot of protection here. They've got a little bit inside, I believe, for heat dissipation, because this is where majority of the internals of the iPhone 17 Pro lies, especially the ones that produce heat. The cutouts seem pretty straightforward. There's a lanyard hole at the bottom, so if you're going to be using a lanyard on the case, then I believe you're covered. But let's chuck this thing on there. It doesn't look half bad, and although it looks the best from the back, from the side, it doesn't really have a lot of protection going on. It's got some protection on the corners, so anything when it comes to, say, scratches or bumps, you should be fine on the corners at the very least. There is a very slight lip on the front as well. I do have a screen protector on top of the phone, but the lip just comes out as much as the screen protector does. So there is something there. So if you leave the phone upside down like so, you should be perfectly fine. At the back as well, this is protruding, so it adds a bit more to the already bit more camera island or the plateau, which I don't suppose is too bad of a thing, because one, it evens everything out, so even if you're placing the phone on the back like so, it's not going to wobble, and secondly, your lenses are protected. So this is not too bad of a case, but visually, I think this tan color with the silver, it looks so good, especially with the orange accents there. Even at the bottom, we've got the cutouts for your speaker grills and for the USB-C port. And let's just see how good that MagSafe is when it comes to this case. So I'm gonna chuck it on just like that. And it seems like it's quite strong. It's got magnets of its own, definitely. And even holding the phone more or less entirely vertically on there, it gets the job done. It holds it pretty well, quite sturdy on there, so your charging should not be a problem. If you're looking for personality, this is definitely the case. That air vent over there to dissipate the heat, not sure how well that would work, but hey, it's there. You either love it or you hate it. Let's go on to the second case for us then. So this one is slightly bulkier now. Of course, with the bulk comes a bit more protection, just goes hand in hand sometimes. It says it's got the magnets in there, so your Qi 2 support should still be there. It's got the cutouts at the bottom. These are individual plastic buttons on the side on a TPU side by the looks of it. The back is definitely plastic, but the side is definitely TPU, so it's a good mixture. Here comes the lanyard holes once again. It's got a slight accent to the button here as well. The power button also is separate, but in terms of the camera control, it is just rubber. I'm not sure how well that would work, but there's only one way to find out. Seems to be some gap in the inside here between the case and the phone, so should have a air pocket there for the protection in the corners, which works surprisingly well. As I expected, first things first, definitely adds a bit of bulk, so your corners or your edges are definitely going to be slightly chunkier than what you would think. The buttons are clicky. Let's try out that camera control, because that's the one thing I'm excited for. So pressing it, of course, is not going to be a problem, but let's have a look at this. And it works surprisingly well. This is not something I expected, to be honest, but it definitely works, and it's very responsive. I did not expect it to be this responsive for some reason, because I've seen a lot of cases from other manufacturers that, you know, put a lot of thought into that camera control and what they can do to make sure that it is one-to-one with the phone itself. They make the cases very expensive because of that, but here, I don't think this is a problem. The look itself is very subjective, but the black and orange, it's a thing of its own. I do like it, I don't mind it. It does provide a little bit of protection for the cameras at the back because of that lip. So you can see that the camera plateau is a bit more protruded. And same with the front. The front still has a lip, and putting it down like that is not going to be a problem. Let's check out the MagSafe side of things. It's just as strong. Let's have a look, give it a little bit of a shake, and it holds just as well as any other case would. This is something I would not mind using. It just lacks a bit of personality for my liking, but I would prefer this for personality. But if I really want to protect my phone, I'd be looking at this, or I would be looking at the next case. This case comes from ESR. I'm not exactly sure what this is for, but it is quite soft. This is TPU, the rest of the case is plastic. So at the bottom, they've got a little space here for plugging in your USB-C port. So it just plugs it. So there's some added protection for that. So no dust or debris can go in and no water can go in, although the phone is water resistant, but that's always nice to have. It's got the magnets in there, like it says, and it also has the visual of the back. Very rugged, definitely the heaviest of the bunch. It's got a little stand here, which we will also be looking at, but very nice, very hefty looking, very hefty feeling stand. Seems like it will be able to handle the weight of the phone with the case. The corners, definitely way more protected than any of the other cases. The buttons, they're just etched into the TPU itself. They're not individual buttons like you had it on here. So they're not separate to the case and then sort of slotted into their space. It's just carved out of the TPU, which is not really bad because they've got that inset in there, so it will make full contact. They have gone ahead and engineered some mechanism for the camera control. And this is the one thing I want to see if this makes that much of a difference, at least when it comes to camera control. But yeah, definitely the bulkier one of the lot, which of course comes with protection. I don't see any lanyard holes there, which is fair enough. I'm not really going to be rocking my phone with a lanyard, just like a lot of other people. Definitely can see the orange accents of the 17 Pro right there. The buttons, very clicky, very enjoyable buttons. From the corners, a lot of protection there. In the front, this does have the biggest lip of the lot, so pretty safe to put your phone down that way. And it is all rubber, so it won't really be sliding off all that much. From the back as well, the stand itself is, I believe, acting like a lip for the camera control. Not the camera control, the camera plateau. So if I was to place it down like so, should be fine. But it will move along because it is metallic by the looks of it. At the bottom, oh, I think we've got a mesh inside of the cutouts. And of course, when it comes to the charging slot, not bad. Quite deep though. So just bear in mind that if you've got a USB-C cable with a very thick housing, it is not going to go in there. Let's test out the stand here, which doesn't look bad. I mean, to be fair, it is entirely metal. Doesn't look or feel bad. If I was to keep the phone like this, does the job. And the other way, of course, does the job. I can tap the phone, and because it's metal, of course, it's bound to slide around, but I don't think you could be typing. This is great for like video stuff, if you're watching videos. And I want to see if I can balance the phone like that. And I can, that's nice, but can I type on it though? Oh yes, I absolutely can. Let's check out the final piece, which is MagSafe. And this, by the way, makes the phone quite heavy, so I would be surprised if it holds the whole phone in a vertical position on that MagSafe charger. And wow, it does. Look at that. And give it that good old shake test. Definitely not going anywhere. Holds the phone exactly how it's supposed to. I think the magnets in here are definitely stronger to hold the entire weight of the case and the phone itself. Pressing that is very much like a normal button, and the functionality is perfectly intact. I don't think it makes a difference over having what is on this case and what is on this case. Yeah, they've gone ahead and engineered it so the contact is much nicer, but I personally don't feel a difference at all. They're still both just as responsive as each other, and personally, I don't really see why you would go ahead and do all that much work just for a camera control button, which works with just an indented TPU. That's it. That's all this took. Cool, so now with all that out of the way, let me know in the comments if you're more of a personality and not so much protection kind of person. If you're in the middle, where you would want some protection and a little bit of personality, or you just don't mind, or you would want to go for all-out protection, no matter the bulk, no matter the size, no matter the weight. The links to all these cases and more will be in the description down below. I was not paid to say anything nice or bad about these products. They were all sent out to me by the respective manufacturers. So all I'm here to do is give you the option, show you the choice. I hope you've enjoyed, and I will catch you guys later.